Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We're covering Married at First Sight Australia, Season 11, Episodes 21 through to 24. Now, Chris, we've been waiting for this, but where would you like to start today?
I know where I want to start, Dave, but I think it's going to be a episode. So let's start the start of the week. So we had the commitment ceremony, and we had Ben and Ellie. And we finally got a fucking conclusion. Stan Laurel himself, Mr. fucking fake emotion. He reminds me of Phil Neville, actually, Dave. He's fucking, his face. I just don't get what this guy is about, what he brings to the table. And I love the fact that John was like, you know, they asked him about the journal and he went, it was just my thoughts. And he was like, why tell her? Why tell if they were your thoughts? What, you know, he basically character assassinated her. And he's obviously an absolute wanker off camera, but then on camera, he's doing this confused, I don't know what's going on. And I love John's line. He's like, I'm not letting you get away with this, pal. And he just lays into him. I just thought it was a great start to the week because ultimately they both say leave, but it was the fact that John had just fucking went into it because Ben was just so devious, not as nasty as, say, a Jack or maybe even a Sarah, Dave, and we'll get into them. But Ben got his comeuppance finally, and he just said, like, you played a game with us here completely. And I did like that. They called him out. He was playing the reality TV game, wasn't he?
Definitely. And Mel was calling him out for being a gaslighter as well, you know, because he was sort of, depending on what... You know what he is, actually, Chris? He's that guy from the Fast Show, you know, the one at the pub who just agrees with what anyone says. Because depending on the question, he'll just completely flip-flop, you know. So it's like, oh, what do you think of it? Oh, she's amazing. She's great, you know. but you wrote all these things about what you hate about her. Like, oh, yeah, you know, clearly never going to be together. So, yeah, it was good. And yeah, they went for him. I'm glad, actually. In previous seasons, they haven't really gone for them the way we. Well, so I'm not saying they should the way we do, but you know, the way we think they should go after them. And we've given them some stick, haven't we? The experts, not the judges, Chris, but the experts, and just say, oh, come on, fucking have a go at them, like, you know. And I think they got a bit closer to that today, didn't they? Especially John. John was on one. He was taking no crap at all. And I don't, like I say, I think Ben came in with a game plan. You know, he's going to promote his podcast. He's going to release a hit single on his guitar, and you know, but he's just not very fucking good. He's just not very actually talented. You know, he's not a bad looking bloke, which is what's got him onto the show, you know, but that's it, you know. So I'd love to know what's he going to do, or the thing in the last few years has been all that, will he have a boxing match with someone, or, you know, probably manage to stay in the public eye in some way. But yeah, it's just not a very good contestant, and you kind of feel sorry for her because, you know, you feel like she was in for it, you know, for the right reasons, or close to them at least. But, you know, she ended up with Ben. And so, yeah, it's definitely one. They probably went a little bit too late, didn't they? They should have gone before. But I was glad to see the back of him now. You know, he kind of dragged it out for probably at least an extra week than it should have been. But, yeah, what's all.
100%. And I did also think that, was he hoping she would say stay? And because he's put leave, he's trying to get that redemption out. But she was like, nope, I'm saying leave again for the second week fucking running.
Collins is still pressed up in the glass outside. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Oh,
could have been me, that. It should have been me. Fucking bellend. But anyway, Dave, what about Andrew and Richard then? So obviously we all did the debacle last week with Richard, and he was saying about Andrea, or Andy as he calls her. And they both said stay, but she's gone off him, hasn't she? And I mean, I think it's his own fault, personally. I think Andrew's a really nice person. But yeah, that's again like what you said last week about him. All this has gone on. Richard, he's very immature, and he's the oldest person in the experiment. But I can't see it between him now at all. I did at first, but I just don't see. There's not going to be an ever happy ever after with these two.
No, Chris, he's a dick.
Yeah,
old Richard there. I just think that I don't know. He's really off, wasn't he? And it seemed like you could tell from her body language. She's just not. She's just a bit confused. She does still kind of like him, but like he's a real needy fucker as well, isn't he? It's like, oh, you know, she doesn't like me or whatever. And I don't know. You nailed it. Actually, he's the most immature bloke in there, probably. Certainly more immature than his age, dictates. And I think she's gone past that kind of honeymoon phase, and she's seeing, he's got a little bit of a nasty streak, hasn't he? When things don't go his way, and I'm not sure how emotionally stable he really is. And so, yeah, she said that she's still into him, but I kind of feel like she's checked out already. So let's see where they go next week. But I don't really hold out much hope. I like Andrea. I kind of like her influence on the group and her interactions with other people. But as a couple, I don't think they might last it to the end now. They can see the home straight, can't they? But yeah, as a couple, they're not going to last.
No, not at all. And one couple I didn't think were going to last, Dave, but I'm actually rooting for him. He's fucking Mr. D's himself, Ridge and Jade. They have absolutely baffled me because he was so immature and so stupid. But like, you tell you what, he's redeeming himself for me. Some of the speeches he said, is he really happy? There's a proper physical connection between them. I honestly think, Dave, and this is going to blow up in my fucking face because I know it's nearly finished Australia, or it has, and we're waiting for the reunion. But there is a chance for these two at the moment from what we've seen.
I think short term, I think there is. Both, young, good looking. They seem to be quite sensible. I am surprised that Ridge, he seems to have turned on the perfect boyfriend button, doesn't he? It's like completely switched from the frat boy that we saw at the wedding. I just wonder, their two lives, so when they're in this bubble, it's fine. When they start sharing each other's lives, is she going to want to be hanging out with them when, like, I don't know, some young girl goes past and they're like, D's, it's like, I just can't see it. But I think within this bubble, it seems to be going really, really well, but I'm far from convinced.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. Dave, but I am rooting for him. So I'll reserve judgment, but I think Mr. Horrocks could be on that there. The Casamorians may be correct with that one, but for the purpose of the show, they're the ones. But now I am flipping a little bit, but Eden and Jaden again, Dave, stay. They're in love. It's a 9.5 on the love scale. And yeah, fair enough with them. So
I think that was weird though. Like he's at a 9.5 and she's at what did she say? Like a 7.5 or something like that. I thought that's weirdly specific for both of you. I just thought it was quite weird. So I just didn't really understand that, and it all seemed to be going really, really well. And then I'm sure we'll talk about it started to get a bit rocky between them because of a third party influence. But they still seem to be going quite well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And you know that because when they see like the experts, they're gone. He's like, right, stay. Great. See you next week, everyone. And I know obviously they become a prominent couple as the week went on again. But at this point, I'm like, fair enough. These are the boring ones that, we had the little bit of, you need to watch me while asleep with your best friend with his ex, which is still fucking weird. But then Dave.
I forgot about that. But yeah.
But then there was a revelation, Dave, at the start of the week. Sarah and Tim were okay. We're together. We get all these VT about like how they turned a corner. I must admit, Dave, the skeptical hippo eyes was sort of looking, going, this looks like a movie where we're getting that little bit of plot fucking foreshadowing that something may be coming as the week goes on, because she completely changed her demeanor. And I'm questioning the whole thing actually after seeing this at the start of the week. So I know we'll get into the dinner party, but at this point, I was like, well, what a turnaround. Oh, I'm listening to him. He's been strong. You know, when he stood up for me against Jack, that's it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not buying this. However, at the point, everyone's thinking, all right, fair enough. Maybe there is something there. Maybe she's actually going to let Tim fucking speak for once. So,
wow,
little did we know.
This couple had a journey this week, didn't they? But I'm sure we talked last week. I just wasn't buying any of it, to be honest. You know, they're going through this period of calm. You know, he's doing what he's told. You know, so therefore the couple are happy. So things are going well this week. I just wasn't convinced at all. I did not predict that it would fall off so spectacularly so quickly, but fucking hell, I loved it when it did. But at the commitment ceremony, everything's going well, you know, all this, that, and the other. Again, even it's not with hindsight, Chris. I was watching that commitment ceremony episode, and I just wasn't buying any of it. And like I say, it did all come crashing down pretty soon.
It's fucking great. Another couple there, they almost have bumped into each other on this fucking corner they turned, was Timothy and Lucinda. All of a sudden, we get, you know, this sort of breakthrough in their relationship, and they say stay together. And I'm like, you know what? As the week went on, I actually started liking Timothy, but not because of everything he's done to Lucinda, because I think he's an absolute bellend. However, his way of tackling people, there is no, like, he's not bothered who you are. If he's just calling out bad behavior, isn't he? Or in his eyes, bad behavior. So we'll get into that. But yeah, at this point, again, another couple, I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Have they been fucking slipping in Viagra here? What the hell's going on? So I was very perplexed with the way these couples were going.
Do you think Timothy and Lucinda have done the deed? I don't. I get the impression they still haven't. But they were definitely getting on better. But I don't think they've crossed that physical barrier just yet, from what I could tell. But what I would say is, we've said it many times, a bit of a reference, but Timothy this week is not the hero we need, but he's the hero we deserve.
You know, we've got to do the impressions again.
Because I don't know what you mean.
We are children.
But yeah, I mean, they turned that corner last week, didn't they? Because it kind of came full circle. So it was the commitment ceremony last week where, you know, Timothy got the ump, didn't he? Big time, when Lucinda was agreeing with the judges. Sorry, the experts.
That's my line.
And he got the ump for ages, and then it was only Lucinda's dad who kind of, you know, helped him get that massive chip off his shoulder. But it seems like since then, everything's been going great guns. And actually, like, Lucinda's probably the most, I don't know if passive is the right word to describe her, but like, whatever, when Timothy's being an arse, she rarely calls him out. She quite often defends him. So, you know, and he appreciates that, doesn't he? You know, if other people are going at Timothy, and then, like at the dinner party, she'll speak up for him, and he's like, oh yeah, that was great the way you spoke up for me and stuff. But you'd imagine with the other brides, a lot of them just wouldn't really put up with that, you know, from him. Yeah. So I'm rooting for them, Chris. I just don't know if they'll get there, but yeah, definitely rooting for them. And we said before, you know, everyone should have a Lucinda, you know, just to big you up and stuff, and just spread some positivity around the world. And yeah, this week I agree with you. I think Timothy, I can't remember if he'd won Bell End of the Week a few times. He certainly got close a few times, but this week he was, he's a bit of a hero. He had a much, much better week, Timothy.
Yeah, he did. And honestly, Dave, I think obviously, as I said before, the Lucinda thing, it'll never change. You're completely out of order, complete like grumpy old man. But he doesn't stand bullshit. And like you say, he was fantastic this week as it went on. And we'll get into that actually, Dave. So we'll finish off the commitment ceremony. I've got to get into the fucking retreat and dinner party because unbelievable. So Cassandra and Tristan, again, another bizarre one with these two. They're still together. They're still saying stay. Tristan, he's so emotional. He's up and down, and his mental health is just, he should not be on this show, I don't think. They're still together, and he's trying to grow from it. He said some nice things about Cassandra, but at some point she's dialed out a few times, but I think it'll just fizzle out between these two. It really will.
I think so. I think you're right. It's just, she can't keep, I don't think. They're too early in the relationship. She can't keep being there for him when he sinks into these low places.
Yeah,
I think they're not there yet, where she feels like she's got to support him and everything. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think these will fizzle out. But again, it's really hard not to talk about the later bit in the week. But we will get through the commitment ceremony first. So, yeah, I mean, it looked pretty good, didn't it? With them two at the at this point. So in the commitment ceremony.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It was just, again, like you say, like I said, it can't go on. It can't go on. You're right, and she's not there for that, Dave. She's got her own issues, hasn't she? She needs to lean on him, and I just don't think she can. So yeah, so you're right. What about Lauren and Jonathan, Dave? I think Lauren was completely turned off once the whole not defending her against Jack situation. She admitted there's no sexual spark now, and he just sits there like he's a fucking mannequin, doesn't he?
I wondered what you were going to say there. Yeah, I mean, he's done nothing really, has he, to convince us, the watcher, or Lauren, clearly, that he is. He was getting the ump a bit when she was saying, she thinks she's a bit much and he's a bit sensible, and he's like, well, I don't know why you would think that, but. I don't know. It's just such a wet lettuce. I just can't. Honestly, the fucking commitment ceremony from last week, when they're addressing the whole muzzle your wife kind of thing, and he's just like, oh, happy birthday. I'm fucking done with Jono. I'm just like, look, mate, just. If you're going to be subservient to everyone, fine, but accept that's what you are. I just don't think he's the right person for Lauren. No, definitely not a good match. And I think Lauren was kind of still trying, I think, before, but I think this last week she's just completely checked out now.
Yeah, completely. You're totally right. And I do got to say, though, Dave, she must have one of the greatest facial expressions ever on MAFS, because when they go to the VT, her face, she's either tilting it to the side, her eyes are wide open. She don't mince a word. She stands up for what she believes in, whether we're right or wrong. I know me and Sam watch it. Sam's not a massive fan of her, but I like the fact that she will tackle people like Jack head on, and I do like that honesty of her. But it's just been, for me, it was simmering nicely, all this stuff. And then you get like Michael and Stephen, and Stephen's been texting the hairdresser, makeup guy, whatever it is, Dave, and he didn't see any problem with it. He called Michael out, didn't he? Like basically saying there's nothing between us. But again, they're not attracted to each other. And it's like, well, let's stay and see how we go another week. You're getting a free holiday, aren't you, really? Like everyone else who keeps staying, it's fucking nonsense.
I really do like all-inclusive, so I'm going to stay. I've already told work I'm not coming in for a few weeks, so it's all good, mate. Yeah, stay, definitely. No, to be honest, I've kind of... With Stephen, I think I was kind of empathizing with him a little bit, but then I think this week he's just come across like a right bellend. He's not really factoring in Michael's sort of feelings. He's saying, there's no spark, but then he's sort of texting the hairdresser, and it's like, hang about, are you fucking in this or not? And yes, you can say, okay, there's no spark between us. You know, you who I met 2 weeks ago, right? But you don't start fucking flirting with someone else, surely.
No.
So, you know, I for me, he turned it around in terms of like, I was kind of I wasn't falling down on one side or the other, but for me, Stephen came across like a total bell end this week. And I just feel like, like you say, really, if he feels that strongly, he's like, Michael, there's no spark. I am working hard, but I just don't really see anything. Then leave, you know. But I think out of all of the couples, you know, Stephen for me there, he's up there with Ben. You know, Ben's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to stay, you know, obviously not this week, but in previous weeks, you know, just to be on the TV. So, yeah, I don't know. I felt quite strongly that whole texting the hairdresser thing was bang out of order. It wasn't the worst cheating scandal we had this week, but it was not cool.
No, and I think you're right regarding this. I was sort of Team Stephen initially because Michael, you know, Stephen said to him about, well, I'm not your first pick, am I? You know, like, and that's right, isn't it? You know, Michael was in the show. We knew he was going to come back and sort of be with someone else. The way they teed it up, his partner had just sent him an email and he say, see you later. And I was the same. But as it went on, I thought, actually, Stephen's got a little bit of a snidey side to him. And Michael didn't do anything wrong, did he? If there's no attraction, there's no attraction. So why are you staying? Again, like you said, it's like being on jury service. It's like, you can go now. No, I don't want to go. It means I go back to work. Are you sure? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Jury service is exactly the same as normal inclusive at the retreat. But depends on the case, I guess. But, you know.
I suppose what a great fucking comparison that was, Chris. But
that? What? Depp and Heard? I'm fucking in.
See you later. But yeah, so I don't hold any out for these ones. And I tell you what, Dave, fucking, you know, last week we said about like Tori said that horrible line to Cassandra, didn't she, about, you know, you need to know your place and all this stuff.
There's a food chain.
Food chain. When she's saying that is because they keep getting picked last, and she fucking loves the fact that she's the last one on the fucking the commitment ceremony sort of couch with the experts, because she loves it. She thinks in her head we're the most important. We're getting all the airtime, which they are at the moment. I can't deny that. But obviously Jack is just in his own fucking psychopathic fucking gaslighting world that he's in. But she genuinely will just put up with anything. And they get called out again, and ultimately they're going to stay. But she's like dropping comments in. And when she sits down, she's all like, oh, we're here again, are we? Oh, yeah, come on. Let's see it. You know, all eyes are on us, sort of thing. I can't stand Tori, Dave. I'm not being funny. Yeah. Jack is a complete cock, and we'll talk about him. But she's not coming across well at all. She absolutely loves to smell. You would say, smell of her own farts. She loves to say it.
What was it? Someone had said, and she said, "Oh, that's as bad as the muzzle your wife comment."
It was to do with it was Tori when she said about Timothy.
Oh, Timothy Timothy saying that you know, Jaden's opinion means nothing, you know, because he's 27. That's right. And she's trying to say that that's as bad as the muzzle your wife comment. And it's like, yeah, it's not really, is it? I mean, what kind of fucking fucked up world is in your head that you think that is the same? So yeah, they definitely think they're the power couple, don't they? And I can't tell if she even likes Jack. Does she like Jack, or does she just like the power that she thinks like them being together gives them? It's weird because some of the shit that he's done, and it gets worse as the week goes on. You think, well, how can you like him? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. You're right, and I think it's got to be the treat him mean, keep him keen thing, because maybe she's never been refused if she's like, you know, flirty with someone, made an approach to know somebody, and they've been very standoffish. Maybe it's that, and Jack's the first guy who's kept her at arm's length. We all know it's not because that. It's probably because Jack's got fucking 3 kids and he's married with a mortgage. He's just on here to fucking promote his personal training business, which will be worth 0 by the time we finish with this episode, the way he's been this week. But I just don't buy any of that shit with her. You know, we've talked about Bronte and Harrison. That was the playbook of, we need to stay in here for as long as we can.
Yeah.
But, no matter what you do, Harrison, I will defend you until we realise that we've got 1 episode to go. And then I'm going to tell you the truth, because all my social media footprint will be done. So I don't need you then. And that's exactly what she did. And she defended him. You know, Jack, he's a cop. And you're right. I mean, even the experts were saying, whoa, that is nothing to, not even in the same ballpark, that comment that Timothy said. Why? You're just deflecting. She was trying to get back. She thought she had the experts on her side. And as soon as she said that, the whole room just went, no, I don't think so. But again, though, Dave, if we're telling a story, it tees it all up nicely for the next episode, which was the retreat, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, and a new house this week, Chris. You know, previous seasons was somewhere else, and I must admit, it did look fucking great, didn't it? I mean, it does make you jealous of going on holiday. I mean, I know you go away quite regularly, so you're never more than a few months away. But old Judith Chalmers there. But
how dare you?
But for me, I was thinking, oh god, I won't get a chance to get away on holiday this year. It's probably going to have to be next year. But yeah, no, it looked great, and you know, they all seem to be having a great time. But you know, for me, it all got a little bit weird. I was saying about, you know, Timothy maybe being a bit of a hero this week, but what do you reckon to the kind of mothers' meeting that he was calling with Lauren and was it Eden, the other one, the trio, and
Sarah and Lauren? It was
Sarah. Yes, you're right, of course. And it seemed like, you know, Timothy's going, oh, you know, I really like Tori, you know, but it's Jack, right? And it just seemed like you're coming up with these virtuous reasons as to why you're doing this, but actually you just think Jack's a cock, and so you're trying to just rally the troops. And I feel like that'd be okay. Just say that. Look, I fucking hate him. It's Bellend. Right, just, you know, and he's done this, but it's as if like he's trying to protect Tori's virtue. He doesn't want to see Tori get hurt. That's why he's kind of, you know, saying all these things about Jack. It just seemed weird to me. It's like, do you have to say that? Do you have to have a reason that's not just this guy's a dick? Because he is a dick.
He is a dick. No, he is a dick. And obviously this weird thing with Sarah as well, Dave, from nowhere.
Yeah,
it's weird. Kissed her on the neck, and then like he's grabbed her ass in the gym when she's with Tim. And I'm not being funny, Dave. I mean, Sarah went full on, this is outrageous. And I'm thinking, yeah, but I'm thinking by the end of the week, I was like, well, maybe there's a bit of truth to that story, because Sarah is obviously the biggest liar in there we've ever seen. But at this point, it was a weird dynamic having them 3 together. I've never seen anything between them. And then you think, I'm questioning the editing, because everyone's coming over to Timothy, aren't they? Like he even does a bit of a dance to sort of Andrea with a thing. Then you've got this thing with Tristan where they get the matching hoodies. And I'm like, what's going on here? We've seen this miserable Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street bloke for nearly 5 weeks. And now he's the life and soul of the fucking party. Like, he's like, everyone likes him. Everyone's coming over hugging him, and what a guy, you know. And you're right. This thing with Jack, like, they go and tell Tori off the back of it, Lauren and Sarah. And Sarah's like, I don't know, I'm a bit scared to tell you. Sarah is a bit scared to air her views, Dave. The most fieriest person in the fucking experiment. And again, I just looking at Tori going, she's going to fucking defend him. No matter what happens, there's going to be an excuse. She's going to maybe have a word with Jack. It might blow up a little bit, but ultimately, Jack's going to absolutely just manipulate her. And he does. And he finishes off the conversation with, I'm glad you stick by me. It's really attractive. And they're the sort of thing. He's so fucking clever at manipulating her, Dave. And she falls for it. And I'm just like, I wasn't buying it when they were saying the whole. Sorry to interrupt. When they were saying the whole thing, I was like, Tori's going to defend him. What is the point of this fucking whole scene? Because she's not going to fucking bin him off.
See, I don't think he is that clever, but he does try and say the things to appease her, and she just fucking swallows the whole thing. You know, it's just like not questioning anything. It's almost like he's saying the things to validate what her doubt is already. You know, she really does trust him, but I can't think that she is that dumb. It's just this has got to be like a third dimensional play or something. Maybe this is the at the final commitment. The final vows, sorry, maybe that's the point that she's waiting for when she's just going to kick him to the curb kind of thing. I don't know. It just strikes me as odd. But yeah, you're right about Timothy as well. Suddenly he's the life and soul of the party. But I mean, they did have a breakthrough moment, him and Lucinda, didn't they? Because he's sort of talking about family and stuff like that, and it was good that they did get to catch that moment on the edit. They were saying about it'd be terrible to lose family and whatever, and you could see it in Tim. It kind of affected him straight away, and obviously later on, Lucinda's trying to get him to open up, and he ends up bawling and sort of running off, saying he can't do this anymore, and that was kind of the thing, really. He came back, gave her a massive big hug, and they seem like quite cool now. I still don't think they've done it, but I don't know, Chris. I'm hopeful for next week. Maybe they definitely seem to. It's a weird thing to hope for, isn't it? They seem to make that breakthrough, and I think that just lifted Tim's whole personality. He was kind of jokey for a little bit, Chris. Obviously, when it all comes out about Jack and, like you say, touching her bum, like kissing her on the neck and stuff. I mean, all the best stuff. I just put a fucking camera in the gym, for fuck's sake, will you? Yeah, no. All the best stuff seems to happen there. But I love the fact that when people started. Actually, it was Tim, wasn't it? So Sarah was prodding Tim to say something, and Tim's like, "This just isn't my." As Lucinda would say, "It isn't my jam."
I like that. Sounded like her as well. It's my jam.
But he said his piece, and in a very, very calm, deliberate way, and Jack tried to cut him off a couple of times, and he wasn't having it. He wanted to say, but he didn't raise his voice or anything at any point, and said, look, you're making her feel uncomfortable. But he's just defending himself, wasn't he? Like, just making shit up. Oh, it's banter or whatever. But that's actually no. I tell you what, I'm getting it mixed up with two things there. For the other shitty thing that Jack was doing. So he made the whale comment, didn't he? So he said, the whales are out. And again, Jono actually pipes up in a mouse-like volume, but, he says, that's not right. Cheers for that, Jono. But yeah, Timothy fucking didn't like that. I mean, Chris, how did you see all of that bit sort of unfolding?
Well, I know I've spoke about this before. In a lot of ways, Dave, I am Tristan when it comes to, but I know I talked about it before. I'm dead open about it. Like I actually became a personal trainer because of not wanting. This isn't. I don't want any violin music or anything like that, Dave. I'm content with where I am. But genuinely, I became a personal trainer because of people like Jack and people who body shame you. Like you go on holiday. It literally, I would take my top off and then it'd be like, get in the pool, body image stuff. So when Tristan was saying all that stuff, I completely relatable, completely like, I suppose, triggered by it, and just thought, Jack is a personal trainer. He's dealing with people who have got, and we all have body issues, all of us, one way or the other. We all have our own insecurities, but mine has always been my personal appearance, and touch wood at the moment, I'm in probably the best shape I've been in for over 10 years, but that's been a year of complete commitment, a year of like really sort of getting my food correct because I was so unhappy last year. Around about March, April last year, I was so unhappy with my body image. I went on holiday. I did. He says about a whale, Dave. I think they could have fucking harpooned me off the Greek coast last year, without a doubt, if I'd gone swimming. So I was not in a good space at all. So when they were saying stuff like that, I've had that. I'm 45 years old. I've had it my whole life. And the reason I became a personal trainer is to help people not feel how I feel every day in the respect of the way I look. I've always gone to gyms. I've always done things, but just the way Jack delivered it. And all right, we didn't see him say it, but you can just picture his smug way. And his career is a personal trainer to help people. And I'm like, no, mate, you are definitely that guy who trains people. And as soon as they've gone, you're calling them for the way they look. You probably use it, says people are fat, people are this, people are that. I hate that word fat anyway. And people say, I would never call it anybody. I've had it called me plenty of times. I hated it. So I know what Tristan was going through. And I just feel so sorry for him, Dave. And what made it even worse, it's fucking awful, is at the dinner party when fucking Jack come and he give him a fucking protein card to get himself, basically saying to him, yeah, you are overweight. Here's a protein card. Then he tells him, I'm a PT. Don't speak. Let me speak. And he basically overpowered Tristan and completely bamboozled him, did a sales pitch on him. And Tristan went, what a guy. Hugs him, and there's fucking Timothy going, he's a fucking dickhead, this guy. Yeah. I don't buy it. I thought it was awful, Dave. That's probably one of the worst things Jack's done in the whole of this show for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was so cringy, wasn't it? But when he's given the gift card, and I did wonder, was it an actual gift card that had money, or was it like a 10% off flyer or something like that?
It's just, Dave, it's what real men do, apparently.
Well, and that's it, isn't it? Oh, because that's what a man does. It's like, is it really? You're a fucking bellend. Honestly, you say about PTs like being in that job to help people. In his case, it's not. It's just he wants to be a gym rat, and that's a convenient job to keep him in the gym for a bit longer. The gym that I go to, right, is a healthy throughput of various PTs and stuff over the years. High turnover in that kind of industry, but you can spot them. The ones who are like, as soon as they've finished training a client, then they're into the training themselves as well. So I mean, it's long hours, isn't it? But if you're training like all fucking day, your body does not handle that without additional supplements, Chris. Not necessarily the ones that you get a voucher for. But anyway, so he doesn't give a fuck about anyone. And all I was thinking was back to the wedding where like basically everyone was his client, and he's got no actual friends because he's a fucking dick. And he wouldn't be able to maintain those long-term relationships. Unless you had someone who was as big a narcissist as he was, I just don't think, and then they probably couldn't occupy the same space or else the universe would implode. So I just think it was a really, really bad thing. And I was so disappointed that Tristan couldn't see it, but I mean, we spoke a little bit about it, didn't we? And you were saying, you can see why you would think that. But yeah, I was fucking fuming. It's just like, I was kind of hoping Timothy even said something. But to be fair, I think Timothy sort of did the right thing to not say anything. It's just like, Tristan's happy about it, so maybe just let him be happy about it. But you could see earlier in the week, like he got him the jumper, because it's like dad and lad sort of thing, isn't it? He got him the same sweatshirt as him and stuff. So yeah, you don't want to piss on someone's chips just because it's the truth necessarily at that time. But yeah, I thought it was pretty horrible. And again, Jack would have got bell end of the week had other stuff not happened.
Exactly, Dave. And the last thing I will say, just to top off, and the experts were like, holy shit. I mean, what's she called? Alexandra was fuming more than the others. The others, I mean, Mel was like jaw on the floor, but Alexandra was like, he's just overpowered him. He overpowered him with words, but to give him a keyring saying, "You are enough." Fuck me. Was he just going to play on his phone? Just one more thing before we go. Let me just play "We Raise You Up." And I was like, what? Are you just going to go the whole thing? Like, oh. And you're right, Dave. He would have been the ultimate Belling. Yeah, he's going to be the Belling. I mean, I believe he said Belling 35 times last week. We maybe go for a record today. But he was the ultimate bellend at that point, and genuinely, his business will suffer, and quite rightly, because you've nailed it completely there. He's a guy who wants to be in the gym all day, so the consequence of being in the gym is he can earn a bit of money around the people who he trains. Absolute joke of a person. However, up steps fucking Sarah. Well, it wasn't Sarah. Eden, she's done fuck all on toast for nearly 6 weeks, makes it about herself, saying that she's got this information, and it's going to rock the core of the show, Dave. Jaden's not going to speak to her. Nobody in the house is going to speak to her. And I'm thinking, holy shit, she's been cheating on Jaden with someone else here. What's going on? Then she went, I've had the text. And I'm like, well, she hasn't been cheating. What's going on? And she can build it up. And the producer's like, what's it? She's like, you will soon know. You know, like it's like some like EastEnders bit or something. The music's going to kick in. And ultimately it comes out, and it's bad, but it ultimately comes out that she's been swapping texts with Sarah, and Sarah's told her that she's been seeing her ex, which it all marries in with how loved up they were at the start of the week, how Tim had said he can never seem to get hold of her at weekends. She's obviously been seeing this guy. And I tell you what, Dave, I've never trusted Sarah from the start, but this unraveling to her story was fucking amazing and unbelievable. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Chris, I felt like Chandler, you know, when he appears from behind the door, when what is it Rachel says?
I knew it.
No, that's what Chandler says, but she's like, it doesn't it's not okay. Yeah. It doesn't happen that often, and it is a big deal. Yeah. Chandler appears, it's like, I knew it. But honestly, it was coming out that because they built it up that, you know, someone had done something, and usually it's someone from the outside. Someone's got someone waiting on the outside, or something like that. Someone's got a text, but you know, when it came out that it was Sarah, and you know she's been seeing her ex-boyfriend, I was just like, I fucking knew it. You know, for me, it was obvious almost from that first episode when they got married, because she had such a problem with Tim, and you know the fact that he'd been with someone like 6 months before. And, you know, she had a problem because, you know, she was trying to get back with her ex for like 5 years, or, you know, they were on and off for 5 years or something like that. And it was like, yeah, okay, that's very, very suspect. And then the phone thing was like, oh, yeah, you've got some incriminating stuff that you don't want anyone to see. And then they come out with the old, oh, but don't you trust me? Oh, well, if you need to see my phone, it means you don't trust me. Oh, the problem is you. And I the thing that really pisses me off about Sarah is the way she kind of she comes across as if she's saying something nice about Tim or being compassionate to Tim, but actually what she's doing is she's belittling him. She's like, oh, well, we shouldn't do that because you feel so insecure. You know, it's that's the problem. Oh, we won't do this because you're a fucking wet blanket, basically, you know. And all this time, she's been lying through her fucking teeth. She's probably only come on this show to, like, fucking, you know, wave the red flag in front of her ex-boyfriend, because it sounds like they've been on and off again for years. You know, so it's been going on all this time. But what I liked is the way, you know, when cornered, she's like a small child, you know, who comes up with, she'll say something and it's a bit of a lie. And then it becomes obvious that she can't get out. She can't defend that lie. So she'll kind of back down and then come up with another lie. You know? But then that kind of unravels as well. And the group was having none of it. And so, yeah, but she was having none of it either. She just could not see. It's weird that she couldn't see what she'd done was wrong. even though she was making excuses to defend it, because, you know, they were saying about, oh, you know, this guy's got a girlfriend, so, you know, it's him, but you're knowingly, you know, in this when he's got a girlfriend. Oh no, they split up. Yeah, definitely split up. No, you said they were together. And then it was when she's trying to excuse the fact that she's been bonking this guy all weekend. Talks about the fucking what was it? She's minding puppies or something like that. And Eden's like, "You told me,
Yeah,
that's what you were going to lie to Tim about." And I was like, "Yes, Eden, go on, don't fucking let her up on anything." So yeah, honestly, Chris, this fucking dinner party was amazing, but I was equally enjoying it, and it was equally horrifying as well, just to see that level of narcissism. I was just, yeah, but it was validation as well. Like, I think both of us, we just haven't trusted Sarah and where she's coming from for this whole series, and so yeah, it all came to the fore, and I just felt. Saying how much I enjoyed it, I kind of felt I am human as well. I did feel sorry for Tim. He was obviously deeply hurt by it, didn't see it coming. It's all his worst fears, you know, come and be validated. But I'm kind of glad as well that it didn't go on any longer than that.
No, and I'm with you. It was fantastic, wasn't it? She's like, yeah, my ex has been with his girlfriend for 6 years. Yeah, he's already got a girlfriend. All right, okay, yeah, no. Well, why are you meeting him then? Well, what it is, I didn't want to tell Tim because he gets jealous. Okay, but what the things make it worse now it's come out. And May Eden was like, you need to tell him. And Sarah's fucking face was like, yeah. And it just escalated. Then it was like, so you said you've never, you know, he's got a girlfriend. Yeah, but the thing was, they were split up. Were they split up? Well, yeah. Well, actually, I did sleep with my ex, but I don't like cheating. I'm like, well, what is it? How many contradictions are you going to throw in? And then ultimately, she just fucking went absolutely nuclear, didn't she? And they were laughing on the expert, not laughing, the experts are like, she's just gone to type now. She's just gone on the fucking attack. You know, how many views have cheated on people? And I did like Andrew's deadpan line of, just vote leave. Just put leave. And so that's all she did. And that seemed to really stick with Sarah, didn't it? Like really thingy. But Dave, it was glorious. She's had that coming from the start. And I don't believe this situation with Jack now either. She would, if she'd had a bit with Jack, she would have gone down fighting and lied anyway. You know, Tim's there, well within his rights. She, like you say, I'd forgotten about that whole situation at the start, you know, like with a phone and everything. I completely forgot that. It's all coming together. She's just, and when we were watching it, like Sam said to me, like, she's like, well, they obviously don't stay together for the 7 days. And you said it's the weekends they get off, don't they? But
yeah. Literally.
That's, well, yeah, literally. And your clothes back, apparently. But yeah, it's but that sort of ruins everything about the experiment, doesn't it? They should surely be together. And I'm not like you could have a day off as a couple, but I don't mean like she's obviously just going home or whatever she's doing, and this ex of hers is flying in and they're just having a weekend together. I don't get it. I don't get that. And then this is, I mean, from a TV perspective, from us watching, great. But again, the show, the validity of any of these couples, it's just the same. I mean, it is, let's be honest, Dave, it's fantastic to watch. And I love the fact that the pantomime villain, her and Jack are in the pantomime villains, really. She's got a comeuppance, but she's still going to double down on it. And I think she's going to say, stay when we get to the commitment ceremony tomorrow. I genuinely do. I think they're going to be here for another week. I mean, Tim will say no, and she'll say yay.
Yeah, and force him to stay. I agree. I think she'll say. I think in her head, Chris, she hasn't done anything wrong. Like whichever way she wants to square that circle, she has not done anything wrong. The last kind of thing, like you say, she got to was, oh, fucking everyone does it, don't they? You know, which one of you lot hasn't done it? You know, so whatever it is, and whatever she gets called out for, she'll come up with something else as a reason to make it okay. And this is Chris, I think this is the biggest example of a narcissist being caught out like this. I can't remember of another good example. I mean, a couple of, was it 2 or 3 series ago when Becca got caught at the reunion when she was going back? Yeah, but I mean, that was, you know, a bit kissing and canoodling. It wasn't too bad, was it? It wasn't disappearing for a fucking dirty weekend because your ex-boyfriend's flown in from Perth. I think this is, the biggest kind of betrayal, I think. And you're right about the validity of the show. I don't like the idea it's a Monday to Friday thing and you just get the weekends off and you do whatever the fuck you want. And then the gym is a reoccurring part of each season now. Stuff happens in the gym. We'll put fucking cameras in the gym. I said to you when we started all of this, we were talking about my kind of love of the original Big Brother was, the cameras everywhere. So anytime you wanted to dip in and just, what are they doing? Oh, look at that. They're having breakfast. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, it's going for the cornflakes now. I don't know why it's captivating, but, the fact that you can go in and it's unedited and you can see what people are actually doing and how people actually are, as opposed to, the camera crew's here now. Oh, we got to, pretend again. It takes a bit of the magic away from it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, to be fair. It does. And Dave, at the end of the day with Sarah, if Jack is calling you out saying that's terrible, you're in trouble then. Let's be honest. You are in trouble.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So anything else, Dave, before we finish off?
No, that is it. I mean, we've gone a whole not quite an hour, but there's a rather important match coming up anytime soon. So I think we need to.
We need to remain friends, Dave, because we couldn't have recorded this after the said match. After last time when I was happy, I don't know if I will be happy this time. But anyway, let's just. Let's not talk about that, Dave. Let's not talk about that because it's been an awful for me as a United fan. But there you go. But anyway, big thank you to everyone as always. And thanks for all the messages, everything on Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast on Facebook. Please get over there. Come and join it. All the episode links are on there. The chat is brilliant. We have some good laughs in the chat for each specific show. Big thanks to Charlene, as always, for moderating over there. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, @cdrealitycast. And as always, if you do want to support us, please get over to patreon.com/cdrealitycast. So the roll call of honour for today, and a massive thank you to everyone who supported us on Patreon, past and present. Ken Gustafson, Looking at Green, Lauren, Hennessy, Susan, Dee Dee, Katie, Libby, Joanna, Chloe, Helen, Keith, Gillian, Zoe, Maggie, Cassie, Fiona, Nicola, Helen, Larissa, Amanda, Kim, Danielle, Nick, Andrea, Sims, Kathleen, Jessie, Sinead, and Stacey. So thank you so much. I usually read it the other way, Dave, so we're struggling. But thank you so much there for all your support, guys. Amazing stuff. And me and Dave are now not going to be friends for the next 2.5 hours. But there you go.
Yep, I am genuinely nervous about that one. But once that's all out of the way, then we can get back onto MAFS this week, can't we? So I can't wait to see the next commitment ceremony and where that all lands with the experts. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.